He just qualified second at one of the toughest tracks on the calendar. And instead of talking about speed, he's talking about getting under everyone's skin. Carson Hocevar isn't just racing NASCAR right now, he's trolling it. And he just admitted out loud that he loves every second of it. Carson Hocevar locked in the front row for Sunday's Cup Series race at Sonoma, starting second, just 0.02 of a second behind Ty Gibbs. That's about as close as it gets in qualifying, but the real story isn't the lap time, it's what he said after. Hocevar openly admitted he knows he's become NASCAR's lightning rod. He said other drivers take things too seriously, that he's just out here having fun, and that, in his own words, it's so easy to get his competitors riled up. This comes right after Kyle Larson, one of the biggest names in the sport, called him out on a podcast for acting immature off the track. To understand why this is blowing up, you need the backstory. Kyle Larson went on a popular podcast and gave a mixed review of Hocevar. He praised his raw talent behind the wheel, but said his off-track behavior sometimes resembles an 8-year-old's. Larson even suggested Hocevar could be a future top-tier Cup Series driver if he matures and reins in the aggression. Most young drivers getting that kind of criticism from a former champion would go quiet, play it safe, maybe issue a measured response. Hocevar did the opposite. He posted Spire Motorsports qualifying graphic and joked that they apparently let an 8-year-old start on the front row. He leaned directly into the exact criticism aimed at him and turned it into content. That single move tells you everything about where Hocevar's head is right now. He's not trying to silence the noise, he's feeding it. This is where it gets interesting from a strategic standpoint. In most sports, doubling down on criticism from a respected veteran would be risky, but NASCAR isn't most sports. Attention is currency. Sponsors want eyeballs. Fans want personalities, not robots reciting talking points in a cool-down interview. Hocevar understands that better than most 23-year-olds in this garage. By controlling his own social media, which he specifically pointed out, he's removed the filter that usually softens a driver's public image. No PR team smoothing things over. No corporate approved quotes, just him saying exactly what he thinks, exactly when he thinks it. That's a calculated bet. The upside, he builds a brand bigger than his results alone would generate. Plenty of athletes have turned controversy into a career. The eyeballs translate into sponsorship value, into ratings, into relevance. The downside is just as real. NASCAR is a sport built on respect inside the garage. Other drivers control machines moving over 100 miles an hour just feet away from him. If his aggressive driving style and his online persona start blending into one reputation, reckless on track, reckless off it, that's the kind of label that's hard to shake. And it can affect how drivers race him. Tight margins, less patience, more retaliation on the track instead of in interviews. So is this smart or dangerous? Honestly, it's both. It's a high-reward, high-risk strategy. He's betting that being unforgettable is more valuable than being universally liked. Right now, with results to back it up like that Sonoma qualifying lap, the bet is paying off. The reaction split right down the middle, the way it always does with Hocevar. One side of the fan base loves it. They see a young driver who isn't scared, who says what he wants, who treats criticism like fuel instead of a threat. To them, that 8-year-old joke was perfect, sharp, self-aware, and fearless. The other side sees a driver who still needs to prove he can back up the talk with consistent results over a full season, not just one strong qualifying run. To them, leaning into villain status before establishing real championship credibility looks more like a distraction than a strategy. Media reaction has leaned toward fascination more than criticism. Hocevar is becoming one of the most quoted young drivers in the sport, and in this business, getting talked about is half the battle. Best case scenario, Hocevar's aggression translates into real results. He keeps qualifying near the front, starts stacking strong finishes, and that villain persona becomes a legitimate brand. Think a younger, more online version of NASCAR's classic bad boys. Sponsors love it. Ratings love it. He becomes one of the faces of the sport's next generation. Worst case scenario, the aggression on the track starts costing him races instead of winning them. Other drivers stop giving him room. Incidents pile up. And instead of being seen as a confident competitor, he gets labeled reckless, a driver other teams actively race against rather than respect. The next several weeks on track will tell us which version of this story we're actually watching. So here's the real question. Is Carson Hocevar building one of the smartest brands in NASCAR right now, or setting himself up for a reputation he can't outrun? Drop your take in the comments. Are you Team Hocevar, or do you think Larson's right about him? If you want more no-filter breakdowns like this one, make sure you're subscribed, because this Hocevar story is far from over.